the chasm. I think we in politics today know about chasms. There's kind of a large chasm between one side and the other politically. Also, our social order is got quite a chasm between it. The more we focus on the middle class that have been left behind, the larger the underclass grows. Did you all know that? So while we're all looking at the middle class, we're getting more and more disenfranchised people. So this, of course, this is Jesus telling a parable. It is about the disenfranchised people who look at the rich and feel this chasm between them and the rich people. And talk about being insurmountable, or you just cannot get from there to here. People start playing the lotto more and more. That's another statistic. That maybe if I play the lotto more, I can get to the other side and have money and have everything okay. As we know, this is Jesus, and things don't work like that in our Christian beliefs. But this parable has a lot of things to focus on, that there's a chasm between. So look at the man at the gate who has a name. His name is Lazarus, not the Lazarus who is Mary of Bethany's brother and Martha of Bethany. It's not that Lazarus. This Lazarus is on the ground at the gate, waiting for crumbs from the table of the mansion, which is over here. So for the crumbs to get there from the mansion is a long way for the crumbs to get. He also has sores all over his body, and we are told that the dogs licked the sores, which gives him some relief. But who wants relief like that? So he dies and is lifted by angels, which is a beautiful spot in the story. The angels come and surround him and lift him up into the arms of Abraham, the father of the Jewish faith. And in the arms of Abraham, he gets love and tenderness, acceptance, and food from heaven. Meanwhile, the rich guy who's wearing all this purple clothing and has a very fancy table set for guests who aren't even there because he hasn't invited anybody, just his family, eating and drinking in fabulous surroundings, he dies, and where does he go? Into the ground, it says, down into the ground. And he looks up, and when he looks up and sees how far away Lazarus is, we learn that he has Lazarus' name. He knows it. It's not like that guy was completely invisible to him. He calls Abraham, like he's on a par with Abraham. Hey, Father Abraham, my peer, send Lazarus to my brothers to warn them, or send Lazarus to me and put a little bit of water on my tongue, because I'm perishing in these flames. They're horrible. And what's the answer? Can't do that. There's a chasm between us. So the chasm is said to get even more profound after life. But the chasm is the regret that this person feels that he ended up in this place and is not able to get up there. And even though he knows that he is partly, or all, culpable, he still doesn't acknowledge his guilt, does he? He never says, I'm so sorry that I never fed Lazarus. He just says, well, now send Lazarus to my brothers. First let him cool my lips, now send him to my brothers. And he never acknowledges Lazarus. He's still ordering him around like he's an invisible nothing. So, racially, we also have this chasm. If those of us who are white in this crowd were to wake up with brown skin tomorrow, think how your life would change. What would happen to you that's different than how you are sitting there today? Those of you who have a different color other than white, if you were to wake up white tomorrow, what would change for you? We had racial anti-racism training here a week ago, and yesterday at our Mid-Hudson Council, we concentrated on the chasm between the races and how it's getting actually more profound instead of less profound, and how impossible it is to understand what the other is even thinking. We white people, we are told very kindly to make a friend with somebody with brown skin and have them give us an alert every time we say something racist. And that's the best way to be humble, because we can't because we're so nice. We don't talk about those things. And it's our niceness that gets in the way of us reaching across that chasm. So I did have a friend, an African-American friend, who was in the process of becoming a priest at the same time I was. And she taught me all the things I didn't know, like hair care, that I don't have to think about. Like smoothing my hair, that I don't have to think about. Like becoming more white, that I don't have to think about. The choices that they have and the choices they don't have. She just very kindly told me every time I was an idiot. And I got the idea that I have no idea, because I have just taken my skin color for granted. These chasms are what Jesus is trying to talk about in this parable. He is saying, even if someone is to rise from the dead, people are still not going to follow the Torah, which says, be kind, love mercy, walk humbly, do justice. They still won't listen. And Jesus said this parable in words that were written after he rose from the dead, and still people didn't believe. So what are we to do with this information? The chasm that exists in our lives, even this aisle down the middle. If you always sit on this side, raise your hand. You ever sit on this side? And this side, you ever sit over there? Just a simple thing, but we Episcopalians don't move very easily, do we? We just don't. What we can do is take little baby steps and talk to somebody who's not in our safe space. Make friends with someone who will tell you when you're an idiot. And try to close that gap just a little, because everyone has the capability of doing that, of making a new friend who will open your eyes to what you've never noticed before. And we can fix it while we still have life. Once the day has passed and we're in the ground or carried up into heaven, do we have any more chances to fix it? Not really. But I'm not going to end this sermon before I reassure you, who is our gateway into heaven? Jesus Christ. Do we have any worries that we're going to go down into the burning fiery pit? No, but burning fiery regret can get you any day of your life. And regret can lead you to profound turning and trying something new, as long as you're still alive. Amen.